Today we're asking a dangerous question. Is African community actually love or it's pressure disguised as love? Everyone is your uncle. Everyone is your auntie. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an expectation. But here in the West, it's figure it out yourself. Protect your peace. Privacy over proximity. So here's the real question. Why do Africans abroad miss community but also run away from it? Migration changes more than geography. It changes how you see family, how you see responsibility, and sometimes who you become. What is community?
Family.
People with common interests.
Sense of belonging.
Togetherness.
But the moment you leave home, that definition begins to change because independence sounds beautiful until you actually have it.
Having kids in Nigeria, everybody raises your child. Here is a one man, it's your business. You do it yourself.
We fully adopt this like Western independence. What do you think will happen to our culture?
It would die.
So what happens when Africans move abroad? Do we gain freedom or lose something we didn't realize we needed? Maybe community is beautiful, maybe independence is necessary, or maybe the real wahalla is this. You don't escape pressure, you choose it. Let's start simple. In one sentence, I want to ask you guys, what is community to you? Let's start with Anita.
Family. That's what community is. One simple word is family. People around you to help you when you need to, even without asking for the help. That's what community is.
Frank?
I agree with her, family, but I still also think it's just people with common interests.
Iria?
I think for me, it's more of a sense of belonging. So, which kind of means like family, somewhere where you feel more comfortable and supported, seen. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's it for me. And which is also family and all of the other things Frank and Anita said.
And Julius, what is community to you?
Community for me is togetherness towards a purpose, towards a. It can come from the family. It can come from away from your family. So why I say that there are some connections you have made outside your family, and then you still keep that contact and that community up to this present state. Yeah, but yeah, that's just my own perspective. Yeah.
So, community is family. Everyone agrees that it's some form of family or togetherness, right? So, what if we flip that around? And now I ask you, in one sentence, what do you think independence is?
Again, being away from said family. That ties you down. It is. It is. Because the same family that builds you up and is there for you when you need them are sometimes the ones that hold you down from being independent. Because it goes both ways. They could either make you the best version of yourself that you can be, or they're the ones that are holding you back from being the best version of yourself that you can be. So it goes both ways. You just have to make the best out of the situation that you find yourself in. But yes, and family isn't necessarily blood. It's friends that have become the people that you can rely on. So I just wanted to explain that part. It could be a friend that you didn't know from Adam, but they've been there for you. They're your backbone. They're the ones that will come through for you when you need help without even asking. Like, I've built my community here that I don't know them. A lot of people that I've never met before, but they've become family. So yeah, again, independence could be moving away from the people that are also there for you, but you just have to know how to balance it out so it doesn't cross over both ways.
But I think that independence, right, within community, like it and your family and all, is that you are still within your family, your community. You understand that they are there to support you, but at the same time, you are able to make the decisions and grow as an individual. So it's not in a sense that you're separated from your family or your friends and all of that. It's still just being around those same people that are able to like support you and let you be you and grow. So I think sometimes when people look at independence sometimes and think, okay, it's probably being separate from your family or community. I think you can actually find it within your community. If you are surrounded, because if you're within your community, right, your family and people that really love you and understand you and want you to grow, they will be able to give you that sense of, or allow you be independent at the same time while just being there around. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of like how I see it.
So yes, Frank, what do you think independence means to you?
I think to me is like the best example I tend to think of is imagine moving to a new area, a new country, a new state, a new environment. I think that at that moment you have independence of don't know anybody. Eventually, with time, you gradually build the community that you are. So I think independence it can be independent within a community, but I think the best easier way to explain independence is going to a new environment that you don't know anybody. That's why you use as independence.
And Julius?
If your family used to take care of you, pay all your bills, and when you were in school and all that, now you have to depend on yourself. You would have to take that roles that your family used to play on you, you playing it on yourself and finding your own paths, finding your own self, that's what it is to me. It's just for you discovering yourself in a way that you are able to handle the things that used to be done for you before by your family. Yeah, that's my
Oh,
perspective. Yeah.
so I want to go back to what Anita said about community and independence. Like, from my understanding, you have meshed kind of both together. Like, seems like your community is kind of like your foundation, and then you kind of like sprouted
Mhm.
into your own independence.
Mhm.
Would you say that's what you
Kind of. Yeah, because moving to a new country wasn't easy. You're coming here with no family, or some family might not be in the same town or city that you're in. So you find yourself having to form new friendships. And, within those friendships, you still have to find what you would term family. So that's where it's not just community at that point. It becomes people that you can actually rely on, where again, it becomes community. And within that, you still have to maintain your independence. So you don't just go with the flow. You still have to be able to stand on your own and be your own self, where they don't now start to suppress your opinions and your decisions and all of that, which is where the independence still lies. But yeah, coming into a new environment where don't know anybody or family is far away from you, an hour, 2 hours out of the same town that you're in, you learn to find that community, that family, those people that become your own. And yeah, so yes, that's what it's become.
and Julius, still in Africa, but you're in another environment, another country, right?
Oh, yeah.
Community for you, right, in Nigeria, and community for you now in Rwanda, would you say it means the same thing, or it's still evolving for you?
It's not the same thing at all, because over here it's a different thing entirely, because over in Nigeria, I mean, um I have people that I have known over the years, some my primary school, some my secondary school, some my university, and some just in my workplace. And when you are meeting new people that you don't even know their background, you haven't even had anything, it's like you exposing yourself openly, and then we start sharing things about ourselves, and then for that we start connecting. So it's a different experience entirely for me, and it's a learning process. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask a couple questions there. So who here misses Nigeria sometimes?
All the time. All the
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
I miss it all the time.
I try to go as often as I can.
Yeah.
So I want to ask another question. So within this community and this independence, we've talked about family, but at the same time, we're all in, at least all of us have our WhatsApp family group chat. Who has muted their own?
I
don't think
haven't.
I've muted mine.
I have
I
not.
You've not?
haven't. I still have a
Did
family
you mute
community.
yours, Tony? It seems like you did. You're the
Yeah,
guilty one here.
I
I
suspect
think
You're the
Tony
so.
one that
did.
asked the question, and you're the one who's muted your own.
I suspect
I
Tony to
mean,
mute his family.
No,
because I feel like, okay, I think as Africans, one of the things that we don't do, right? We don't respect boundaries. And I think that's kind of like why we're saying the community versus individualism is growing up in Nigeria, right? Your parents is almost like they see you as a child forever, right?
Always.
I mean, we can all agree on that. And sometimes I feel like our parents don't respect our boundaries because we're adults now, right? We have things that we've also kind of learned through life, and we've had decisions that we've had to make that made us make choices that we've either learned from, or we're still learning from. And sometimes having a conversation with our parents saying, hey, this is why I did this, does not always go well with them. So if we tie that back into the conversation, I think I don't know if it's as we age or because we've also kind of like moving to America. I think one of the things that like America does for us is immediately, I feel like when you move here, you grow up very fast. You have to learn independence. You have to figure things out that normally in Nigeria, I mean, sometimes our parents were still paying our bills till when we're like in university. Like even after we graduated, some people still had their parents taking care of their stuff. But here, a lot of the time you figure that out yourself, especially when you move down here and you don't know anyone.
Before somebody asks that question, I know you asked the question that, miss Nigeria. People reserve. Is it the community that it missed, or is it like the country that it missed, and what make it miss? I'm just curious.
I personally, I miss the life. It's different. So community is one thing that you cannot lose in Nigeria. That's why, like having kids in Nigeria, everybody raises your child. Here is a one man, it's your business. You do it yourself. In Nigeria, you always have one auntie, one this thing, one maid that's coming to help you. You have those opportunities, those resources to help you, so you can work, you can do all of that. In America, abroad, is different. The lifestyle is built differently. And that's one thing that I don't think would ever be able to be comparable. They'll never be the same thing, which is one thing Africa holds dearly because we are very, very interested and invested in growing our children. So everybody helps you. It's community. You can't beat that. You can't argue about that. Everybody imputes. If your child is misbehaving, one auntie walking on the road will say, don't do that. Everybody's coming in to help you raise your child. Everybody puts in, everybody chips in. Here, your child can be roaming the streets and nobody cares. It's not concern them. It's none of their business. Nobody cares. You want to go to work. Only you have to sort out childcare. You have to sort out your job. You have to sort out your household. It's all on you. That's one major thing that I miss about back home. You have your parents, you have aunties, uncles, cousins, everybody. I have one child. My child barely knows her cousins, because we don't have that here. Again, which is why I say I've built my community. I've made friends. I've joined mommy groups just so my child can have that community. I could have been a lone ranger. I could have sat at home and just I'll reach out to my friends over the phone. We'll talk. But then my child is growing up without that community that I grew up with. Like back home when we're in secondary school, we'll meet in school. After school, we'll go to each other's houses. We'll play. We'll do all of that. You can do play dates here, but it's not the same thing. And again, they go to school, they go home. If you don't, as a parent, build that community, your child won't have those play dates to go to. But in Africa, the kids create it. Like we'll walk home from school. We don't have that here. We don't have that security or the time or that lifestyle over here. But back home, we'll close from school, we'll hang out outside school, we'll just before everybody will start trekking to their individual houses, We make friendships, which is why 20 years later, we're doing this podcast. I don't know if my daughter will have friends that she can be on a podcast with in 20 years because they're not building those relationships right now. They don't have it. So we have to go out of our ways to create this community.
That's, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Does anyone want to add to that? Everyone say Frank, Julius.
I mean, she said almost everything, because a lot of things, where we are growing up, some things like, she just brought a whole lot of things to my notice, a lot of things that builds us that we don't even know, like after school when we close, we just hang out in Shawnee's, Peperes, all those kind of things. We gist, we talk, we laugh at each other, we stroke. But now I'm look like, but if you look at it over here, trust me, we don't have that.
Mm-mm.
Even trust me,
Mm-mm.
those relationships we have back in the days in Nigeria. I mean, back in I would say when I was in Lagos. I mean, the only time I had that kind of situation was when I was living in an estate that has a lot of recreational activities that I have to bring them out to play with other children. You know, I don't think they even have that kind of connection we had back then compared to what they're having now because their playtime is kind of limited, you know?
It is.
Yeah, compared
And
to
like,
back
sorry to
then.
cut you short, but even elementary schools now, a lot of them in
Mm,
America, they don't have recess anymore. Did you know that? They've taken away
wow.
recess from elementary schools. So when are the
Mm,
kids supposed to interact and play socially when they're at
mm,
lunch? So
mm,
over time, you just learn that you have to be intentional about your kids. If not, that's why you see a lot of Gen Z kids, they can't have facial interaction with people because all they do is they're on their phone or they're playing games over headsets.
mm,
They don't know how to interact. So we're slowly losing community building and having community. Come another 50 years, only God knows if people will be able to say hello, hi to each other. That's why, what's it called? Online dating is such a big thing now because people can't talk to each other. That's why people can't go to a bar and meet each other, or people can't go to, before, you're the
No
water
more,
for road,
no
person will
more
see you, go
toasting.
toast you. No, do you
Toasting.
mm,
understand? People will see you
Thank
and
God.
toast you.
mm,
Toasting doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't because guys don't have the courage to walk up to a girl and say hi, hello. No, it's the honest truth and be able to take rejection. That's another thing.
mm,
It's one thing
Yeah.
to even have the courage to go say hi. It's another thing to be able to for the girl to tell you no and you turn around. That's a normal thing those days. You told get you will never see that person again. But the boy knows that this girl
mm,
will not answer me, but he will still try. He will still make an attempt. But now we're losing that, and it all goes back to community. It all goes back to being able to talk to people, having people to talk to, being around people. Because again, Africa, we're all trying to find a better life, so we're all going abroad. We're losing the foundation of having that community, having our family, which is why everybody has to be intentional about keeping friendships, letting your kids
mm,
understand that these are your cousins. My daughter thinks Iriagbon says kids are her cousins and Nadia's kids are her cousins, because we are intentional about it. We try to go out once a month. We are intentional about it because if
mm,
we're not, we won't talk to each other for 6 months. We'll be on our Instagram sending each other reels and that's it. And we're okay because we're still communicating, but
Yeah.
we're not seeing each other, Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
think
the thing though. It's sad, but it is what it is.
but at the same time, if we go down, I feel like this is like a whole, that alone is a whole episode to talk about
Yeah,
because
it's a
and I
rabbit
don't
hole
even
to
want
go
to go
down.
down that rabbit hole because I would also then come up with like, we all belong to our high school group, and we
Mhm.
can go down that path and talk about how community, yes, you did say these are the people we grew up with, these are the people that after class, we would walk home to. And now, you know, we're older, everybody's in different places, but it's hard to connect with those people. And yes, Julius has said life has happened, right? So we're all in different places, we've all had different experiences, but why isn't that community growing as we grow? Why is it like as life happens, people feel like they have to lose that community and become more independent? I know you're making new friends and you're meeting new people, but does that mean that you should kind of like disintegrate, like disengage from your foundational community? Or does it have to be like, does the community have to be like beneficial? And I want to start from Eragbonse and Frank to see what they think.
I don't think that when people break away from their community in the sense is because, or like what happens. I think people are come at a stage where you're trying to grow in terms of career, like things are happening, and you're within a community. Depends on you as an individual, right? You look at your community, see how well they're doing, and it depends on the kind of community. Now, are you in a community where people are looking and judging and saying, oh, this person is not doing so well, there's no that kind of support, then you want to break away, right? Because it's affecting you mentally and all of that. So you're not going to want to stay within that kind of, community or with those friends, that group, because you've not reached the stage as because we all judge ourselves, right? You look and see where you want to be, and you see other people that you grew up with and how they're doing, and you're thinking, I don't want to be that involved because I'm not where I am now, and I don't want them to ask me a question, say, what are you doing? Not knowing that, we're all just hustling together. So I think that's where that, you might look at it like breaking away from the community might be like finding people that understand that, okay, I know we keep using this word community over and over again. So it's like a ring word, but it's just finding that within, your crew or your group and saying, I've identified 2 or 3 people that know me for me, that understand my struggle, that I can be bare with, like, bare my heart out to, and they can just not judge me, understand that I'm wearing, my regular Walmart shirt or whatever, and they're not going to look at me and thinking I need to wear a Chanel or all of that. And we can go out, take pictures, and they would post me in that and not judge me. So I think that's they
They
will
won't crop you
crop you
out.
out of the picture exactly, I saw one, I think we shared one reel the other day where a group of girls went out and one of them was telling the other girl, like, oh, you're hanging out with us, but you make so much money, but you're buying clothes from Shein. You shouldn't be wearing clothes from Shein or wherever. You should be, wearing all of these designers and those kind of conversations. But that's a wrong community right there. You don't want to be with those kind of people that would make you feel less than you are. So yeah.
Frank?
Yeah, I agree with what she just said with the whole community of finding the real community. But to answer your question, is there are community that is a lot of community is benefit for it. So I don't think there's no community that you enter, you say, oh, there's no benefits. I think it can be a benefit of just having someone to talk to. That's a benefit. It can be a benefit of I need a connection. Can be a benefit of network. So there's one form of order of benefit. If there's no benefit, I don't think a lot of people will really continue to build that community. That's one of the evil that the Nigerian one that and Anita was explaining. It was more like that's what people benefit. Say, oh, we raised this person, we raised this person. So they took it as a community. Say we contributed, we benefit in raising this person. So the person come out to be great. They'll say we did our job right.
Describing that community where everyone is involved and you saying, hey, everyone put hands to raise this person. So I want to ask an uncomfortable question, right? Who sends money home regularly?
I do.
Okay.
Doesn't anybody else? Because everybody else kept quiet.
I just came back from home not quite long.
Okay, so let me
I'm still fresh.
explain that. Let me so this is another place where community and independence comes in. I'm the
Yeah.
first child of 5. I'm responsible for all my siblings, right? So
Yeah.
mine is a sense of responsibility because again, I'm the first of 5. But like Iria just said, everybody's doing well. So slowly and steadily, my brothers and my sisters have become independent. But when they weren't independent, I was in charge of them. Like I'm 10 years older than my brothers. So of course, I was getting into Greater Tomorrow when they were being born. So I'm their mother, basically put. Like, yes, I'm that person for them. But as they've grown up, that responsibility for them has left me. So I don't do that for them.
But I want to come into one part that, I feel like Frank is running away from. And this is why I said Frank is running away from it, because this question, right, is not just sending back home, right? When you heard what I said, back home to like Nigeria, right? For Frank, home is in America, right? It's still saying, hey, parents, I'm still going to like give something to them, or like say for me now, right? I don't give my mom money literally, right? But I would buy stuff in the house, or I pay like some of her bills, right? That's what I'm trying. So in that context, for Frank, do you do that?
Yes. So that's why I say when you say back home, Nigeria, yeah, I don't do that back home by Nigeria. But yes, in the States, yes, I do that for my mom. I'll buy if it's a birthday, Christmas, occasionally. So, but it's not
But wait, Frank. So right now we're split. All 5 of us are split into 3 categories. So you
Yeah.
and Tony are in the same category where your home is here with you, and again because your home is in a place where they can make a living, even though they are older, or they have something that pays into them because they're older. So you don't
Yes.
have that sense of responsibility. But if they were back home in Nigeria, you would have felt, oh, I need to take care because you know that they need that money. So you would have had to do it because
correct.
what number
I'm
of
number one.
siblings?
I'm
Oh, you're
number
number
one.
1. Tony, what number are you?
3. No, 2.
2 out of what?
3.
Tony confused.
You don't even know where you are in life.
I was looking
So
at
But
let
Erasmus's
me quickly
camera
chip in.
saying
yeah,
not
but
record.
so your home is here. So you are
Yeah.
not more or less, you do it when you feel like, you do it when you can, you know.
But let me come in here. So the thing about this thing where people always say send back home, I feel like there is a sense of, as you say, community, where taking care of your family or supporting your friends and your community. So to me, I don't like that tag where people make it like send back. I feel like
But you
I
are
don't
sending
like
it
it.
back to you, I must say.
I don't
But
like it. I
I know
feel
you
You
like
don't
say,
like it, that doesn't mean that's not what it is. That's what it
probably
is.
what it is, but there's a way it sounds. It doesn't give it the way it's just the way it sounds. It doesn't just
But
sound right. It
for
sounds
my part,
very, very,
before I
wait,
moved
okay,
into
Julius.
Rwanda, while I was in
Yeah.
Nigeria, my responsibility was bigger because of the situation. I just took it as a personal responsibility to take care of my family before my mom passed away when she was having that dementia and all that. So I just took it that it's my turn to play the role, to take care of her. But coming down here, I'm not up to like a month yet, so I'm still trying to find my grip, which is not really, as a matter of fact, I need assistance right now over here. If people take care of you, they deserve you to take care of them at their time of need. Yeah.
yeah, which that's
Okay.
what I'm trying to say. That's how it should be defined. So the way it not that I guess maybe if we probably reward it better, but that sent back home, I just don't feel it gives it the kind of it's more like, do you take care of your loved ones and all of that? Yes. But I
I
don't
think
want
you
it to
just don't
be.
like the wording, but the sending back home is because they are back home.
Home.
If you ask me where if I'm sending something, it
I
doesn't
don't
matter how
like
you
the
want to
word.
word it. You must say it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
It's sending it back home.
I'm going to ask this before we transition, right? And for all of us that do this, right? Do you do it, and I want everybody to always be honest, right? Do you do it out of love or you do it because it's like you feel it's like an obligation?
You want me to go first? I do it out of love. I think originally it might have been out of obligation, especially to like extended family members. But over time, as you grow, you come to realize you don't owe anybody anything. So it's now from an out of love place. It's because I want to. It's not because I have to. Like I said, as you grow, certain relationships end, and even family that's blood sometimes becomes not family. You lose certain relationships. So if I don't want to send it back home, I will not send it back home. It's not because I'm the first child. It's not because I'm older than you. It's not because I'm in a position that I can. If I don't want to. So it's out of love. It's not out of obligation. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
That's
different though.
interesting.
I think it's different for me. I think it's more like it's depending it's depending on the person. So if I say is my mom and dad, even though they're in the States, and then there's a need for, if I see there's a need, they don't need to say it. It's an obligation for me. But if it's a friend or if it's a other extended, is it's not obligation. It's a want to or is a want, not a need. But if it's a mom or dad, to me, is a need. That's the way. Maybe because I'm looking at from the first son, from the first child. So to me, is a need for mom and dad. But any other person is a want.
Tony, what is it for you?
For
Because you're
me,
asking us all these questions and you're not answering them. What is
Exactly.
it for you? Let me
Flip it
interview
back.
you.
For me, I think it's more of obligation, right? There is a spirit, there's love there, but sometimes it's just like, okay, yeah, like it's like something that it's like what you said, community, they're not the type person, something you just know, you just guys do. Do you understand? It's just like, okay, let's get this done. Or mom has said something in passing. It's like, oh, okay. Or you walk in the house and you see this, what's going on with this TV or this fridge? I'll just buy it. Do you understand? That kind of thing. So I think that's kind of, and when there's like multiple children, I guess everybody just, like everyone say, everybody's doing fine. So everybody can just chip in and just be like, okay, it's me that is doing this one this year, or it's me that is going to do this one next year. So dad, mom doesn't even have to ask. It's just you taking initiative. So I feel like that initiative is the obligation, kind of like what Frank is saying.
I won't say the initiative is the obligation for
Genge.
me, though. I think it's a thing of I think there's something just bigger than that for me. Like, okay, now, right? I think as Anita was, I think I would ride with Anita on love, because like now I would probably walk into a store that has, my mom is late, but I'll walk into a store that has like a big size. My mom had like, she was on bigger size in terms of like shoes, right? And I'll go into some stores that carry like, like a 12 size 10 for ladies. And I would want to get it because I'm thinking, like, wow, this would have been so nice on her legs. This would have been so great for her. So I think that's the same way it feels like with my siblings, or if they're my nieces and nephews, or even like my dad. It's just that thing of, oh, I see this thing, I think it's going to be great for them. I want to get it for them. I want to send it back. Or I know somebody that's going back. I want to send something. But it's not because they need it, or probably they do, but that whole thing is just because of how much they've given to me.
Do you feel like the pressure is heavier on the man if he's the first, or the girl if she's the first, or it doesn't matter as far as you take first, that's you?
To me, it doesn't matter. As long as it's first, you
sure?
have the, yeah. So for a guy, so let me give an example that I've seen some ladies that are the first, and the role that they have played is like some men can never play that role. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, that's why I say can be. So I've seen some guys that are the first, they can't even play that role. I've seen some guys that have over excel in that role. So that's why I say it can be both. So you can't say, oh, just it's men or it's just women. So I think it's the, but being the first give you, there's a type of responsibility that it give you that is a need. That's what I'm trying to emphasize, the need. There's a type of responsibility that it give you that you have to be cautious of, okay, what is this one doing? 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 So that is like cumulative, your brain is working in multiple ways.
Always.
Every situation is different, correct? And every family is different. So sometimes it still depends on how rich the family is. The first might not have that responsibility. So you can't use, so you have to put the whole picture together before you say, okay, yes or no.
Okay. Anita?
Just like Frank ended just now, sometimes, unfortunately, some firstborns are not responsible. It is what it is. And then it automatically forces the second to take up that role. But in the family, there must be one or two people that take up that role of, I'm thinking of everybody. I'm responsible for everybody. What's everybody doing? If, like, I'm the first, I have one of my siblings out of 5 of us that is like me. And he's a boy, but he's exactly like me. Like, he'll call everybody, check up on everybody. Is everybody okay? And I have those that I don't talk to for months, years. But we're siblings, so it might not be the first, it might be the last, it might be the middle, but there's always that somebody. There's always that somebody that is the glue that's holding everybody together, But majority of the times it's the first one. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 people in the household. And upbringing matters a lot too. The way you are brought up, some parents don't bring up their children as a unit. So everybody grows up separately, and even the siblings they don't feel responsible for each other. Whereas you see some families where one person is going down, oh, what can we do to lift this person up? Unlike some people that just, like you sabi, it's your business, not be my problem. And again, when people start getting married, just forget about it. At that point, you have your own family unit. So then your priorities shift to that. So you're not even interested in, well, not interested, but not focused anymore on what's happening in your sibling life, your trying to build this other family that's going on over here. So it could be the first, it could be the last, it could be the middle, it could be anybody. But there's always that, if you are that person that has that sense of responsibility of thinking of everybody, what's everybody doing, you always have that sense of it, yeah. I'm not saying if you are not the person that is the glue, you are not thinking of everybody else. So no, but there's always that one person that carries the major load in the household. Could be a boy, could be a guy. It's easier for the women because as women and as Africans, we are expected to take care of everybody, unlike the burden that's placed on the male gender. But yeah, guys are also equally responsible sometimes.
I
Okay, I'm
think,
going to come
let me
back.
just say this though. I think it can be the first or the last. And I think it depends on how everyone grows up. But for me, from a personal experience, I feel like it's spread across. It's everybody. If lucky enough to grow up in a home where everyone is united and in sync, it's everyone figuring out every other person's strengths, right? Who is able to coordinate, understand, okay, the house and everything. It's just figuring out the strength amongst everyone, like all of the siblings. It just makes it work. So there's also that dynamics, where it's not like, yes, there's one person, as you say, which I agree with, that would hold bulk of the things, that would probably be able to coordinate and everything. But I always love it where there is that strength in unity. It spreads across everyone holding. So that way, that person that's, is the architect doesn't even feel the burden too much, because you can strategize, but there's somebody else that's doing the footwork and helping achieve the goal.
Okay.
Sorry, Tony, before we move on, I have a question about independence and community. Hold on. So I want to ask everybody here, and I want just your honest answer. Do you think that the burden of caning the community line is more on the eldest child, and that the younger ones are able to get independence easier? What do you think?
There's an expectation from the first, because it's an African ideology that if you're first, you're responsible to taking care of your younger ones. But somehow we find out in a situation, the first is most of the time they are not in capacity to do what they are expected to do. Sometimes it comes from the second, it comes from the third. So when it comes to that body, it's based on culture that brings the body. But if you look at it, it depends on who has the capacity. That's my responsibility.
Yeah, I'm going to say, what do you think?
I'm the last. So from the perspective of the last, I'm very grateful for the opportunity not to be pressured by the community.
Frank, what do you think?
I mean, there's a pressure by the community, but I think also it's just that the sibling is also carry out important role to make it easier. But there's a pressure, but the siblings also carry out important role.
Tony, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the older one is kind of like usually the glue, because that's just their responsibility to try to glue the siblings together. Unfortunately, but also as a sibling, you need to know your role and support. And don't make it too hard on the older one. Yeah. So let's zoom out, right? We talked about money, and this is identity, but if we in diaspora now, if we fully adopt this like Western independence, what do you think will happen to our culture?
It would die.
But in a way, I
Exactly.
feel like also back home, this Western independence thing is something I hear that it's already going on a lot. So it's not as it was when we're growing up, right? That whole community, as you mentioned, Anita, your kids can play out. Yes, you still have some of those things, but it's not the way it was when we're growing up. So it's it's already dying a little bit back home. I think even here, because we've moved here over time now, we're trying to retain that we had back. So I feel like probably I don't want to start something and say we are growing it better, but we're keeping it, because then we have all these communities, like, here in Georgia, you have like Edo people, Igbo, Anambra State, they have all those communities and they have all those parties, and you have, be able to have your kids and family together. So yeah, I don't think if we do it, we die, but I'm just trying to say we're trying to keep it going, and back home it's already dying from what I hear.
It's not what it's
But
what
you-
it is. What it is. It's dying.
It is what it is.
No, but because I think back home they're trying to adopt Western cultures
Of
and
Yeah.
course.
independence, yeah.
nuances. But what they fail to understand is that those people want what we have, while work back home is trying to get what they have, and they're
Yeah.
losing the bond
Mm.
that
The
is what
culture.
family and culture is all about.
Yeah.
And I think that's where
Mm.
the miscommunication is happening. Yeah, unfortunately.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I asked that question earlier before when I said, what do you miss the most in Nigeria? When you say yes,
Yeah.
I go, because that's why I asked that question, because if you say you miss that, that is not happening right now in Nigeria. So then what do you really miss then? So that chapter of us growing on the street and doing that community, it doesn't happen. So that's why I was curious. Are you missing that community, or are you missing the country? So that's why when I was asking that question, I wanted
Or
to see.
you're missing the
What is
memory
that?
of that memory or the idea of what it is.
Well,
Mm.
maybe.
So I want to ask this question. If your child now, right? We're going to go 25 years. Let's say if your child is 25, let's say 25 years old, they're done with college and they refuse to send money to you, right? To take care of you, however capacity, either from Frank's capacity, Anita's capacity, Julius' capacity, or Eric Bonse's view of what taking care of, right? Now it's 25 years old. Would you support them, right? And we're looking at 25 years, or let's say 20 years from now, right? They'll be like 25. Would you support them in them saying, you know what, dad, mom, stay on your side. Me, I'll be on my own. If they don't want to support, you're not going to beef them.
There's
That's
nothing you
funny.
can do about it if they don't give it to you. You
Yeah.
can't do anything.
You know,
You
one
can't.
thing
That's why you
about
should
love.
invest. That's why you should invest in your social security and your 401k.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's nothing
yeah.
you can do. It's the same
You
way
can't
even
do
right
anything
now.
about it.
If you decide not to give your parents money, what are they going to do to you? They will be disappointed, probably, but there's nothing that can happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like we would be disappointed, but then
Mhm.
there's a question you have to now ask is how are you raising them now to understand, because now that's what they talk about, like sharing, giving. Are they having that kind of, character building? Because it should not be something that they will figure out when they're 25, 30 that they should give. Are they going through that right now, even with their little candy and all of those things and sharing and building that for them? And then you can probably say, okay, I did my part. They're not giving me. Okay, fine. I'm not disappointed.
Julius?
Yeah, because what I would say is even in addition to what Iria said, if you raise your child to be as loving, to not see it like, you know, to find joy in giving assistance to others. Trust me, there's nothing else that you're going to teach that child. It's the love you show a child that don't leave that child. Despite anywhere the child goes, it can be in the moon, but whenever he remember how he was loved by parents and his mom or dad, but once you get to the time, even when you give them that love, they don't give you back. I would say as a parent, you should be comfortable to let them go, to let them be whatever they want. Some people in some African culture, they will see like children are like investment. When you invest, you should be expecting a return. No, to me, I don't see it like that. I see it like they are your gifts that came through you. They could have come through to anybody else. So your own is to prepare them to be whatever they want to be. And you have your own what you want to be. That's my part.
Okay. Frank?
I think it's more, we have to put perspective into it. I mean, we have to define it. What I mean by that is that because when you say 25 years, because you're 25 doesn't mean you're mature, number one. And because you're 25 doesn't mean you have the money. People finish college doesn't mean you have the job.
Done with college, you're having a decent, like you're doing. Obviously, if your child is not doing well, you're not gonna think, or you probably will be the one helping the child. But this is I'm creating a scenario where the child is functioning in the society, they're done with college, they're living their life, and they are able to, if they choose to, but they don't.
If they choose to and they don't, I think it's the two ways. I've seen in the situation when a true example, my neighbor in Nigeria that passed away, the man literally passed away because of that incident. So the first child is in abroad and it was not doing that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? and that affected the family. So to the part that by the time the dad passed away, he didn't ever realize it. So that's what I'm saying. So it can be two. You can say, oh, you can ignore. If you have the money, you have built your words, you have built your money, then you don't really care. But if the parents now in the critical condition, medical condition, and they ignore it, I think it's two different things. So I think that's what we have to pay attention. So this one was sick, and the person is the firstborn, is making money, is good, is living abroad, but ignore it, and the person passed away. So do you say you don't blame the child? Of course you're going to blame the child. To me, I don't see anybody else say don't blame the child. You own responsibility to somebody, to your parent, to say I can provide this, even if I cannot provide everything, something. So after I passed away, you can now say, oh, I'm okay. I think that's what I say. You
But
have to look at it from
I
two
also still
perspectives.
think it goes back to how you train your child, because again, if we keep it imbibing all these Western cultures, the Western people don't believe in your parents get older, they come to stay with you until they pass. If we carry that on, we're all going to be in nursing homes. So if we don't indoctrinate it slowly into our kids, no, it's funny, but it's true. We were brought up with the mindset of when your parents get older, you take care of them till they pass, either by them coming to live with you or you get somebody to live with them. But we take care of our parents until they get older, whether you are the first, whether you are the youngest. That one, we can't argue with it, right?
Yeah.
We take care of our parents. You don't necessarily have to be giving them money monthly, but when your parents get older, it is your
Correct.
responsibility to take care of your parents. So if we keep imbibing all these, when they get to 25, if they don't send you money, are you not going to be happy with you? It's okay. Oh, you cannot send me money. That's okay. But when I get older, I expect you to take care of me until I pass. But then now we have people who are willing to go put their people in old people's homes
Nursing
and let them
homes.
pass there, and so that's the different kind of mentality that's coming with all this loss of community and that upbringing of, oh, it's an owing. I owe it to my parents, I owe it to my community, that sense of care, that sense of togetherness and everything. That's the ripple effect that happens from losing it.
Okay. So, Frank?
Everybody will wish for that. Every parent will want their child to take care of them at a certain age, when they get to a certain age. And we got to be true to that. And as Anita said, you have to, is more, I look at it the way of whatever you're going to plant, you're going to reap. If you don't plant it in them, you're not going to reap it, they're not going to understand it. But if you plant it in them, they're going to understand it. So everybody, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's not just about the money. So let's not just be focused on the money, say, oh, you have to send the money. Sometimes not just sometimes just going there and say, oh, I want to come spend a week with
The
you.
community.
I'm more than taking the family, taking the first, oh, we are coming. So I think it's just not more about money. It's just more of like just that unity, the community.
Okay. Julius?
Yeah, I mean, my own is I don't want to be like an obligation. You get, so as much as I would want them to take care of me, because sometimes when you can put everything all right, but you see children, when that time comes for them to pick who they want to be, it's no longer you. You are no longer responsible for that. They come to a situation where they meet different people and across of life. My own is to fill them with enough love that somehow they can't go a day without you. That's anywhere they are, that like you don't even need to tell who you are to them before they recognize. So if it's something that you have put in them, it will reflect for them to take care of you. But what I would always say, because I've seen a whole lot of situations where the child that the parents spend so much to take care of and show all the love, but then they don't even care about their older ones until they passed out. So I would want, like, as a parent, when that situation comes, prepare for the worst. That's my own part. As much as you are praying for the best, don't just depend on that. Prepare for whatever comes. Yeah, that's my take on that.
Everyone say?
I think for me, yes, like everyone mentioned, like it's how you raise them, right? I saw this stuff where they say you give your kids like a job and you pay them, but you have them split the money, right? They have a jar for giving, they have a jar for saving, just so they have that mindset, that giving mindset. Understand that you just don't get money and save it and keep it for yourself. So I would love for them to take care of me because that's how I saw my mom take care of her parents and, how we do. So I want them to do that. But at the same time, since we're in the Western culture, I understand the whole thing of Social Security 401k and planning out my benefits right. So I'm trying to plan my benefits right too. So you have to have a plan B.
Backup
But here's the
plan.
thing. But here's the thing. Even with the Social Security, that's individualism. That is not
Yeah,
community
but what I'm trying
because
to say at the end of the day that, you have that at least that you don't be a burden to them. Because I realize that
But
if you don't become a burden to the kids sometimes also, right, there's also the sense of where they will probably be able to say, okay, mom, come spend 4 or 5 months with me. Because they know, okay, you have your Medicaid, you have all of these things.
okay, but Iria wants to say, what happens to people that are in Nigeria that don't have Medicaid, that
I
don't
know,
have
I know.
401k to fall on? So are the children just supposed to abandon their parents? See, this is where we
Oh, they
can't
all
agree.
fell down
They
because
still have,
I'm not
but
saying
see,
no.
we have to understand you have to take care of your parents.
No, you're not
okay.
getting me
Leave
right.
401k alone. Leave
Okay.
IRA. Leave everything alone.
Yes, I
Leave
want
those
them to
things
take care
alone.
of me. Yes. I will
Let's
not
not
be. Yes,
leave
they
those
should take
people.
care of me. Full
Yeah,
stop. End of period. They will take care of me.
Okay.
we'll discuss that one. But so now in one sentence, and you have to choose a side, right? Nobody stands on the fence.
Okay.
You choose a side, all right? Is African community more of a blessing or more of pressure?
In one sentence.
In one sentence,
Because,
That
but I
question
have
is
a
too big
backup.
for one
I
sentence.
have
It's a little bit of both.
a backup to my one sentence. Can I make it 2 sentences? Just 2, please. 2. It is pressure, but it's pressure to make you better. That's how I see it. Those are my
Okay.
2 sentences. Mhm.
Pressure to make you better. Julius.
Mhm.
I would say it's a blessing because, it's a blessing because you are challenged to be responsible,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Eric
it.
gonna say?
It's a blessing. Why is it a blessing for me? Because the community gives me all the resources that would help me grow.
Finish.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Frank.
If you are putting for the perspective of African culture, is it for the first? To me, is a pressure than a more of a blessing.
Okay. Pressure. Okay. So this one, short answer. Just how it comes to your mind. What is the biggest mistake Nigerians make abroad?
The biggest mistake Nigerians make abroad, I think, is to get into the wrong crowd, wrong community is one of the biggest mistake. Yes.
Okay. Eric gonna say?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's that thing of not exploring outside your community, just wanting to stick with it and not thinking that community is only people that look like me, have the same orientation, but not knowing that stepping outside, yeah.
Okay. Julius?
The biggest mistake Nigerians make abroad, I would say the wrong circle, and then also by not listening to people who have been there and giving them information.
Anita?
I feel like what Iria said is not opening up yourself to your new environment. You have to be open. Don't keep yourself in that bubble of, oh, I can only be friends with Nigerians. I can only be friends with the people that I know. I'm not. You have to be willing to accept your new culture and be open to it. Make friends that are not your skin color. You learn every day. You learn from everybody. You learn how to live in new communities by doing that. But when people keep themselves with, oh no, these are my people, these are my people, these are my people, those people could become your people too. So that's one thing that I know Africans do a lot. When they go somewhere new, they want to stick with their community. These are my people. I'm not mingling. I'm not talking to people that are not my skin color. They are not my race. They are not my culture. They are not my no. We need to stop doing that. We need to open ourselves to everybody because, everybody's accepting, willing, and you never know who you might find that might become your community.
Facts. Okay. This is the last question that I'm going to pass around, right? And this one, I feel like this is coming from you, your own point of view, right? And just say how you think about it. And I'm going to start with Julius this time. What is the biggest lie you feel we tell ourselves about being independent?
Okay, being independent is the biggest lie is that we don't need anybody else. We only need
Yeah.
ourselves, which is a big lie because everything you've ever known in your existence came through somebody, and even the failure to came through somebody experience, the one who taught you a bad lesson, the one who you move away from, it all came through somebody. Yeah. So independent has just been, I would say that it's just been over amplified because you're actually depending on somebody to get to where you are. So yeah, that's my perspective on that.
Okay. Aragbonse?
I agree. I think the biggest lie we tell ourselves about independence is, so I can do it by myself. I have it, together. Not just understanding that you'll be a lot better and be farther than you are if you found the right community, friends, and people around to push you through. So yeah.
But I'd like
Okay,
to
Anita.
Well, what Julius said, he hit the nail on the head. Independence is overrated. Like, no man is an island. And I say that all the time. We always need someone. The moment we try to be, oh, I can do it by myself, you're falling down that ladder that you've managed to climb up. We need to learn to understand that as much as we want to do it all by ourselves, sometimes, majority of the times, we need people. And I always say this: a problem shared is a problem half solved. You might not want to say it, but you never know who can help you. So trying to be, oh, I got this, I don't need anybody, it doesn't take you anywhere. It just keeps you stagnant. So independence is very overrated. I think we all have to find someone or some people that can help us. But yeah, that's my take.
And
Yeah, I agree with everybody. I mean, was said already. So yes.
yeah, yeah. I think I also agree. No one can do these things themselves. Even in America here, one of the things is like nobody knows everything. And like Anita said, mix in the community because waiting in Bogo will show you sometimes
I did tell
yourself,
you.
yeah, you'll be like,
You go
really?
bow.
You can invest in that, or oh, you can do that. A lot of people get an Indian friend, get a white friend, get an
Yeah.
Asian friend, because trust me, everybody knows something and you can't do everything by yourself. I definitely agree with what everybody has said today. And, I really appreciate you guys coming in. This has been very informative. I would say you guys should have one last thing you can tell anybody that's watching this that is planning to relocate to anywhere in the world. What would it be something like a nugget that you give them? Because we collectively, I think we probably have like 50, 60, maybe 60, 70 years outside our primary home, which is Nigeria. What would you tell somebody that's watching this today that's planning on relocating to anywhere in the world? I'll start with Frank.
Answer that question. I'll say you have to be open. Be open because what you think you know, when you see it, you realize, oh, I was getting the wrong information. Just be open and willing to learn. And willing to embrace a different culture. Like, just be open because you'll be surprised. People will shock you. People will surprise. Like, what is like? Wow, I never know Jamaicans like this. I never know uh, uh, other people from Africa to talk this way. I don't even know. So people will surprise you. So just be open and willing to learn and adopt, and then you should be fine.
Julius?
Yeah, just like Frank said, apart from being open, you have to be willing to explore beyond your understanding. Like just relate with anybody that you think you can to find out what's going on over there. If you are stuck, find a place. Like me, for instance, where I came down here, it was crazy. I was going to where they watch football match so that I can find some Nigerians to relate with, but I wasn't getting across to any Nigeria until I just have to call some other people. So if you're stuck, make some calls with some people that you know, ask them some questions. Yeah, just be as open as you can be, as Brad said. Yeah, so that's what I have to say.
Aragbonse?
I would say, like, been thinking, everyone has said the same thing, really, which is true, is just being open and be willing to ask questions. You realize that there is no gatekeeping when you mix with people from other cultures, they will show you things that you don't know. When I came into grad school. It was just there were no, I think probably one Nigerian, but there are people from other countries that told me, oh, this is how you get an internship, or these are the companies that are coming in. This is how you. So just asking questions, ask questions, and always reach out. So problem shared is half solved, like how Anita said. So
This Anita
so
and Ragbase.
be willing to ask questions, be willing to just reach out and find a community and tap into it.
Okay. And Anita.
Same thing Ragbose said. When you come to a new place, find your people. Once you find your people, everything else will go smoothly for you because they will help you navigate, find what you need, guide you through it. So yeah, once you find the right people, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And sorry, your people might not necessarily be Nigerians. Like Julius said, he was trying to find Nigerians where he was watching soccer. It could be anybody. They could be white, brown, black, whatever.
For me, what I'll tell anybody that wants to move to another country, I think the first thing is research the country where you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what's like on podcasts like this or online, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Find out as much information about the country that you're about to go to before you get there and prepare. And when I mean prepare is plan literally everything. Plan your house and plan finance, plan education, plan for your community, plan for your independence. Because when you relocate to another country, it can be tough and hard the first couple sometimes years, but you should be prepared and always think about this. Like people have done it before you, and you can always ask around, like everybody said, ask people that have done it, people that have relocated, the right people, the ones follow no road. Not gonna listen to everybody because it's
Mm-hmm.
still over you. So, guys, thank you so much. Maybe community is beautiful, maybe independence is necessary, but maybe the real wahalla is this. You don't escape pressure, you choose it. In Nigeria, the pressure is loud, right? If you win, everybody wins. If you travel, you must remit. If you rise, you must remember. While here in the West, the pressure is silent. Nobody asks, nobody interferes, nobody carries you. In Africa, you're never alone. In America, you're never monitored. But you don't get both 100%. Relocation is not just economic, it's psychological also, because it changes how you see money, how you see family, how you see yourself. So before you move, before you judge, before you compare, ask yourself, which wahalla are you built for? So, this is Two Continents, One Mic. And until next time, stay real, stay connected, and keep the mic alive. And by the way, guys, I went to secondary school with all these guys, so it's more of a band. We're having fun here.